Okay, good morning students. Today we will continue with the same chapter heat. In the previous class we had learned about the transfer of heat, the mode of transfer of heat, conduction. Now what is conduction? When the heat transfers from hotter end towards the cooler end by particle to particle, that is called heat conduction. Okay, then we had learnt about the conductors and insulators. Conductors, those who conduct heat. Now I have given you some different examples, say silver, copper, aluminium, iron. They are all metals and they generally do conduct the heat. But the rate of conduction in all the material are same or different. For that there is an activity given in your book, activity 3, to show that different materials conduct heat differently. That is Ingenhourz's experiment. Okay, what he has done, he took a vessel, made 3 holes in it, and at one he inserted iron rod covered with wax. In another hole, aluminium rod, and in third, copper rod. Now the diameter and the length of all these 3 rods are same. That means they have the same thickness, same length, and uniform covering of waxing is done. Now what he did after that, he poured some boiling water in this vessel. So the other end of these rods are at the same temperature. Then due to conduction, heat will flow and we will see that wax is melting on with different extent in all these 3 rods. That shows that the conduction of iron, aluminium and copper are different. Now, wax melts to different extents in different rods. It shows that different substances conduct heat differently. Now, greater the length of the rod up to which wax melts, so what it will be? It will be a good conductor or a bad conductor? Obviously, it is a good conductor. Observe all the rod and then find which of them is the best conductor and which one is the worst. You will come to know that out of these 3 metals, copper is the best conductor and iron is the least conductor. But if I insert another rod of silver, then the silver is the best conductor. Now, liquids and gases, including air, are bad conductors or the insulators of heat. For that, they have shown the activity 4. Okay, in activity 4, to show that the given liquid, say water, is a bad conductor of heat. Now take a test tube, fill it with water, then take an ice cube and wrap it with the wire gauge. Why wrapping it with the wire gauge? Because we all know that the density of ice is less than the density of water. If we put an ice cube over here, so it will float in the water. So wrapping it on the wire gauge makes it heavy and it will settle down. So that this is ice cube wrapped with wire gauge. Now burn a candle or a burner burner at the top of this test tube. Now you will see after some times that the water over here starts boiling and the vapors are coming out. Still the ice does not melt. Now this shows that the water is a poor conductor of heat. Now we will observe that the water near the surface start boiling, but the ice cube at the bottom of the test tube does not melt. It is clear that the water as well as the glass are bad conductors of heat and they do not conduct heat received from the burner flame or to ice. Now activity 5, you can do it very easily by your own. Just read it and go through it. That it shows that air is a poor conductor or the bad conductor of heat. Now we will study some applications of good and bad conductors of heat. Okay students, we'll discuss some applications of good and bad conductors of heat. The first one is given: cooking utensils are made of metals like copper, aluminium and stainless steel. So we all know that the copper, aluminium and the stainless steel are the good conductor of heat. So they can easily conduct the heat from the stove to the food content so that the food will cook easily. But we also have seen that these cooking utensils have handles made up of insulators. Why the handles are made up of insulators? If they are not made up of insulators, then the person who is cooking the food might get burned due to the conduction of heat. So the cooking utensils are no doubt, they are made up of good conductors, but their handles are made up of bad conductors. Say either wood or plastic. Mainly most of the time plastic is used. Now being insulator, wood or plastic does not draw heat and we can easily hold the utensil with our hands. Now good conductors like copper are used to make cooling coils. You just go and see at the back of your refrigerator, you will see that the coils are there. They are made up of copper. Why copper? Or in your car engine, there is a radiator that is made up of copper, because when the car is running, it generates a large amount of heat which needs to be extracted. So the engine is covered with the copper coils and with the radiator in which the coolant or a water is filled. Then copper coil quickly withdraws the heat from engine and pass it to the water, and since water has the highest specific heat capacity, it absorbs large amount of heat with a small rise in temperature. Now good conductors are also used to make the base of electric irons, solar heating pipes, boilers used in the powerhouses and factories. The only thing these good conductors are used over there, that they are conduct heat easily. Now we wear woolen clothes in winter. Now woolen clothes have trapped air, and air being a poor conductor of heat does not allow our body heat to escape, so keeping us warm. Now we wear woolen clothes in winter because woolen yarn has trapped air pockets, and as air is a bad conductor of heat, it does not allow our body heat to flow outward or escape, and we feel warm. Similarly, a newly made quilt is more warmer than the old one. What happens? The quilt, रजाई जिसे हम लोग कहते हैं, तो if the old quilt is there, the cotton is pressed and all the air between escapes out. So it becomes ineffective. But the newly made quilt, the air packets are there, and again the air is a bad conductor of heat, does not allow our body heat to flow outward and making us warm. Now two thin woolen blankets taken together are warmer than a thick woolen blanket. Instead of using one thick woolen blanket, it is much better to use two thin blankets. Why? In those two thin blankets, some air will be trapped in between. And again, the air is a poor conductor of heat. It does not allow our body heat to flow outward and keep us warm. Okay, there are so many, you can go through it, and if you have any problem, you can ask me on my personal WhatsApp. Now we come to convection. It's very important. Now, another mode of transfer of heat is convection. Now, homework is define convection. You have to note it down in your fair notebook. Now, convection is that method of heat transfer in which a medium particles actually move to the heat source, receive heat and move away from it. Now, convection is not possible in solids, as we all know that the molecules of solid are fixed. They vibrate at their mean position, but the vibrations are so small that we cannot detect from our naked eye. Whereas the molecules of liquid and gases are free, so the convection, the mode of convection, the transfer of heat through convection is possible only in liquids and gases. Okay. We will go to the activity 6. Now in activity 6, there is a round bottom flask filled with water. And a burner is provided at the bottom. Now we put a small crystal of potassium permanganate. So as to see the convection currents. Now, when we start heating the liquid, the water at the bottom, which is in contact with the flame, gets heated up. When it's heated, its volume increases. Now, volume increases, but we all know that density is equal to mass upon volume. So therefore, density decreases and it becomes lighter. And we all know that lighter things rises up. So the water which is in contact with this flame, its volume increases by absorbing the heat. If its volume increases, then since density is equal to mass upon volume, or the density is inversely proportional to volume, the volume increases, then density decreases. This water will rise up. The water over here will rise up. Now, so as to fill the place, the water from the adjacent part will move at the base. Now, since this water is dissolving this potassium permanganate crystal, it is pink in color. We will see that the pink color water is rising up, and we will see that they will form these type of convection currents in a round bottom flask. So, in convection, we have just read the definition. It is the process, it is the method of heat transfer in which the medium particles actually move to the place where the hotter end and then absorbs heat, and then it moves towards the colder end. So here the water molecules absorb heat, rises up another water molecule come over here, again it absorbs heat and rises up. In this way, the convection current forms and the whole water becomes warm. Okay, there are two important points that in air conditioned building, double glass window panes are used. Why again the double glass window panes are used? One window pane and then another glass window pane, and they leave some space between them. So what is there between them? Air. And air being a poor conductor of heat, the heat from the outside does not enter into the building. Now the process of convection of the transfer of heat is vertically upwards only. That means the substance will absorb heat, its volume increases, density decreases, hence they will rise up. Okay, the method of convection, the thing will not go downwards. Now, application 8, to demonstrate the formation of convection currents in air. We had just learned the formation of convection current in liquids. Now we will do it in for the air. Okay, take a cardboard box or a shoe box. Do one thing, remove the one part of the cardboard and put a glass over there, transparent glass, so that you can easily see. Then put two chimneys or hole at the upper part. Now arrange a candle at one hole, say A, and this is another hole B. There are chimneys, glass chimneys also that you can use. Now what happens? Due to this flame, the air at chimney A will get heated and will expand. Expand means their volume increases. Volume increases, density decreases, and the air becomes lighter over here, and that air will move away or it will rise up. Now, so as to fill that vacuum, air from the other chimney will come and replace over here. This can be easily observed by placing a burning incense stick agarbatti, burning incense stick. So we will see that the smoke from the burning incense stick is moving in this way and coming out from chimney A. It is entering from B and moving out from A. Why? I will explain it to you again, that the air in chimney A get heated due to the flame of this candle, and its volume increases, density decreases, therefore the air in chimney A rises up by creating a vacuum over there. Now, so as to fill that vacuum, the air from B will rush inside the shoe box or the cardboard box and fill that gap. So how to show that? We have taken the burning incense stick. So the smoke from the burning incense stick along with the air will enter into the wooden cardboard box, and we'll see that it is emerging out from the chimney A. This is how the convection works in air. Now students, in the next class we will learn about the application of convection, and please do not forget to attempt the Google form which I will be posting just after this class, as your attendance will be marked as per the responses I received over there. Thank you students. Have a nice day.